Hello and welcome to another episode of Lucky the Story. Today we have a very special guest, Shivpreet Singh. And this episode is actually a very unique and it is going to go down our memory lane as one of the best episodes. And not um, because we have an amazing guest, because it's also that there is a story behind this as to how we made to this episode today. Let me take a little step back. I have very good, and I was telling him also, a very good family man, person actually, no man, a person introduced me to his kirtan 2 months ago. And he said, Lucky, you have to listen to his kirtan, and especially Saas, a simmer. And when I said, okay, and I have a dedicated room, which is a sun room where I sit down, we have a 24 by 7 kirtan is on, and I first thing in my life I wanted to start doing a meditation, and that was the first kirtan in the morning at 5 o'clock which I listened. And that became my thing every morning to listen. Something about that kirtan, I have heard that kirtan before, but sometimes what happens is when you connect with certain individuals with their voice or something, and that was you. And every single morning it has become a part of my life where I listen to this kirtan, and it gives me a calmness, it gives me a compose to my life, and I feel like the best thing ever happened. um, Fast forward 2 months later, today I was at Gurdwara. I'm listening to a kirtan. It was a sad day in a way because we had our very close community friend who actually passed away, and he flew from California, and he was presenting and he was sharing a kirtan on a platform where the same kirtan, Sas, that I was listening. And the way he said it was amazing. Um, and I'm listening and I'm thinking, like, this is the same kirtan. And I was thinking, I wish I could have him on my podcast because he's so close to what I'm listening to. 2:36 p.m. I have it on my thing when I took your picture with you. 2:36 p.m. I met him, I hugged him, I said, I need your energy, and I said, I would like to have you on my podcast. He was very kind, receptive. Immediately he said, okay. And I said, let me take your number. I'm taking a number. I saved it, and I said, what name should I save? And he says, Shivpreet. I said, wait, is that a same Shivpreet that I'm listening on Apple Music? He said, yeah, that's me. Very casually he said. The next thing we know, 4 hours later, he's sitting on a podcast. So this podcast is not planned, nothing. 6 hours ago, I didn't even met this individual. I've only listened to him. So somewhere the stars, this universe has aligned for what you actually did with that kirtan. It came to my ears, to my soul, and today you are here. So I think this is an amazing. I can't tell you how
It's
much
wonderful to meet you.
I am so
It's
thrilled.
wonderful to meet you. You know what? Guru Nanak says, मैं बंजारन राम की, तेरा नाम वखर वापा जी. And in this Shabad, he goes over his his lives. He says, Harni hova ban basa. If I were a deer, I would do this. And then he goes through different animals. If I were a kokil or a koyal or a bird, I would. This is how I would meet God. And if I were a fish, I would open up my arms, and you can feel the fish kind of move in the water, opening their arms and go running towards God. And if I were a snake, I would go inside the earth and be one with the earth, and that's how I would meet God. It's talking about how we meet who we are supposed to meet, the union. So I don't believe this was the first time we met. These meetings happen, life after life after life, and we are just here because this is the continuation of a dialogue that perhaps was started ages ago. Krishna, when he's talking to Arjun, he's giving him advice. Arjun is sitting on the battlefield and he doesn't want to fight, and Krishna says, no, no, you have to pick up the fight. And he says, no, but these are people I know. They're my grandfathers, my family. How can I go after them and kill them? And that's when Krishna starts his discourse on this. This life is not, this body is not our life. Our life is beyond the body. And you know what he said that was shocking to me? That I was reading the Gita chapter 4 recently. He says, you know, the difference between me and you, Krishna is saying to Arjun, you know what the difference is between me and you? The difference is you don't remember your previous lives, and I do. Otherwise, we are all the same. We never go away. We are always here. And so it's a pleasure to meet you again.
Thank you.
Um,
So, do you believe that, I heard you said this that, and I have met various individuals in my life who have achieved some sort of name in their society or in certain ways, and most of the people have said the similar things, that, oh, this was meant to happen. What we are meeting today, it was all crafted, and So, do you believe that it is what it is crafted, or it is also to other individuals? In my case, I can speak to myself that I was listening to you for last 2 months, and it has never happened in the past where when I listen to somebody, either it's Punjabi music or a kirtan, if I like something, I would always research on that individual. And I was thinking, I have never even once researched about you. But yet, every morning, I look forward to listen to you. This has never happened. So is it because I was so deeply connected to you and that attracted, or was it you, or there is some sort of a stars that brings the like-minded thought process together?
yeah, you don't need to do any research on me. My name means nothing. My body means nothing. We are really are cartoons. We are cartoon characters. We come one day and we disappear the other day. And we're really cartoons. You're looking at a cartoon. We have all this ego. We think we are doing this. We are making the music. We are singing. We are doing this. We're doing nothing. And the show is going on. And so when I started doing research on what what brings life to music, to me is Guru Nanak. So because you know Guru Nanak, you don't need to research me. If I am singing and I'm thinking of Guru Nanak, and I'm trying to sing like Guru Nanak, and I'm bowing down to him, and in your heart you consider Guru Nanak your guru, you don't need to do research on me. We have a connection, and that's why you don't. There's no research needed.
That's true. I think you have a point. So, you know, and I'm listening to you today in the first time when I listened to you in the Gurdwara, right? One thing that came to my mind, I have listened to a very traditional kirtans in the past with different, but when I listen to you, you have a little, uh, uh, I want to be mindful when I use this word. It's not different, or but I would say it's unconventional. The way I'm used to listen kirtan versus the way you were explaining with the context, and the way you explained about the individual who passed away. But at every kirtan, in the process, you were actually also connecting Rina Arora who passed away, right? Um, you were also speaking about her as well. It was very fascinating to see that how we are as an individual, everything is around kirtan, and we are a part of a kirtan.
Yeah.
And the way you present is a completely different than I am used to listen as a childhood. So my question is, first of all, how was it planned that way, or was it organically that came, or what went behind, what transpired you to be who you are in the current state, the way you present? um, and I'm assuming you live a normal life, you have a family, you have a, but
Yes.
when I met you, to be honest with you, I felt like you are in a very different spiritual journey. um, uh, and that was the wrong on my part on the judgment. But how who you are, and how, was it from a day one, from your conscious mind it started, or was it something that came in one fine day and you turn? What was the turning point?
We could spend a couple hours on who you are
Yeah, I think
because
that
bulla ki jana main kaun.
yeah.
if we can answer that, uh, actually, that's what we're doing. By doing Kirtan, when you say Sa Sa Simro Gobind, the normal translation of that would be every breath remember Gobind. Simro, yeah, meditate on
True,
Gobind or
true,
meditate on God. That's what you
true,
would say.
true.
And what is God? Ek Onkar. Ek Onkar Satnam Karta Purak, we do the Mool Mantra. And then we come to Gur Prasad. And then we go back to Ek Onkar. There are no pronouns in the Mool Mantra. You can say, He is, God is Ek Onkar, God is Satnam, God is Karta Purak, God ही कर रहा है. God is Nirbhav, fearless. God is Nirvair, ਉਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ enemy नहीं है. यही कहते हैं ना सी,
Mm-hmm.
God is blah. But what if God is sitting right next to you? This flower becomes God. Now you say, you are one. You are Satnam. You are Nirbhav. You are Nirvair. But just the thing that we are talking about is merging into the song. When you merge into the song, when you go to the street of Guru Nanak says, "Jo to prem khelan ka chao, sir dhar tali gali meri aao." Put your head on your hand and come to my street if you want to learn the game of love. Peace. Okay. इसका मतलब क्या होया? What does it mean? It means you you are nothing. You are a cartoon. You are nothing. You're nothing. You put your head on the hand and then come to my gully and then you will know what this love is. So when he and you finish, what remains? I. It becomes very strange because Jesus Christ will say, I am the truth, I am the way. There is no way to God without me. And to us, it sounds very egotistic. Forgive me for saying. But that sounds very strange. Someone saying, okay, you have to go through me. But before that, he has said, I am truth. I am the way. What else does Guru Nanak say? Aad sach, jugad sach, hai bhi sach. He is also saying, I am telling you the path to truth. Now, Krishna says the same thing to Arjun. He says, if you want to attain freedom, you have to go through me. You have to finish yourself. You have to finish yourself to attain that peace. And what happens when you finish yourself is, imagine being on a beach. You're on a beach and the sun, you don't know if it's rising or setting. You're singing Ragasa because Ragasa is sung at either sunrise or sunset. You're not in the water, you're not on land, you're in between. That's how we are as human beings. We are not bodies, we are not divinity, we are in the middle. Whatever there is yours. मैं नाही प्रभ सब किछ तेरा, ईग है निर्गुण ऊग है सरगुण, केल करत बिच स्वामी मोरा. I am not here or there. I'm just playing in the middle. I'm playing on the beach. I'm looking at the horizon. I know I can be infinite and I know I can be human. Another way of saying that is, I am, at the same time, I'm nothing. But when I'm totally nothing, I become Kabir. You are either nothing or you become Kabir. And when you sing, तेरे गुण गावा दे बुझाई जैसे सच में रहो रजाई. Don't sing unless you really want to dissolve yourself. सच में रहो रजाई मतलब सच ही बन जाओ. तू गांधा रहे जब तक तू सच ना बन जाओ. Otherwise, there's no point of singing. Why I'm telling you all this story is, you have to recognize that to get to infinity, to get to the horizon, you have to go through the beach. You have to look at the land, you have to look at the ocean, and then you can think of, what it might be. To get to Guru Nanak, You have to go through Reena. You have to go to a person and see what guna of Vaheguru is in a person. To get to Guru Nanak, I have to say, what is this in this beautiful person sitting in front of me asking me questions? What are you? Who are you? To me, you are Guru Nanak. You are asking the questions because Guru Nanak would ask questions. Guru Nanak was the original broadcaster. You only recently started it, but he started it way back when. And people ask me, why did you start this fusion music? You're playing pianos and guitars and all this. I was like, I didn't do it. Guru Nanak did it. He took Bhai Mardana. He could have sung and played the Indian instruments, Tanpura, and sung Indian rags. No, he got something from the West, Rabab. They were a fusion band and they were going around and singing. And they got so lost that they merged into Sachai. So when you merge into the Sachai, you can be playing Kel Karat Bich Swami Mura. The person who is singing is not here nor there. They are just playing. And they know they are playing. It's a funny state of affairs.
So
Sorry to get you.
no. I think it's a very thought provoking. But I want to understand. Was it something? I want to understand a little bit of your past,
How?
like how you, because see, I can speak for myself. Like I'm at that age, I'm in that dilemma. Like I feel like I have home. I'm married. I have home. I have kids. My kids are now in that state where they're ready on their own in few years. So now I'm thinking, what is next? That what is next is something about searching, seeking. Everybody has their own journey in how they seek.
Yeah.
My journey is like I'm trying to understand the spiritual path, understanding what is within and how I can be content within. And thanks to you, your kirtan has also helped. Not your kirtan, Kirtan Guru Nanak Dev Ji's kirtan through.
See, now you
So-
know it's Guru Nanak's Kirtan.
Yes. So now see, this is a change. But you have been in this journey, and I listened to your kirtan. How did you came to this path,
Yeah.
and how did you transform? If you transformed, if you think it, because you just found yourself and tune yourself. That could also be the scenario.
No, it was a transformation.
It's also a transformation.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
So I am a very bad singer. And I used to feel very bad about it. I would record something and listen to it, and I would be off tone, and I would correct it, and I would record again, and
So you had a passion for singing.
I
You
had a passion
something.
for singing, and I wanted to get it perfect.
These days they have auto tune.
These days you have auto-tune. I'm talking about the days when there was no
No
auto-tune.
auto-tune.
So I wanted to get perfect, and I knew some good singers. I knew Lata Mangeshkar. Wow.
You knew.
I mean,
You listened. Okay.
You hear
Of
Lata
course. Yeah.
and so perfect.
Yeah.
I'd heard Jagjit Singh, Makhmali Awaz, soft. Like, wow, that I want to sound like that. And you sort of, I fell into Kirtan because my dad had gotten me some training when I was maybe 6, 7 years old, and I learned a few shabads, maybe 8 or 9. I was generally a gifted composer, so I would compose. And play the harmonium really well. And I was playing with ustads very early age, 12, 13. I could play anything I would hear. I was a very good musician, but singing was very tough for me. And so I continue to be a bad singer, and that has been the best boon in my life, because when you find that you can improve on certain things in business and make a lot of money. You can improve on your writing and become a very good poet. You can improve on something, making buildings and make them more beautiful. But singing is very tough. Aakhan okha sacha now. It's very tough. And you try to perfect it. So I try to perfect. The two things happened. One, I started getting interested in this character called Guru Nanak. I was like, this is amazing. Jagjit Singh ta acha hai, sunan nu acha lagda hai. And Lata Mangeshkar is also very good. I like listen. And there's some very good singers and classical. Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab. I used to learn little tidbits from everyone. Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab ne a raag acha gaya. Us flane ne wo raag zyada acha gaya. Whichever raag, whoever was playing better, I would go and learn from them. YouTube, cassettes, wherever, right? Would learn it from them. But I was like, how did this guy do this? He goes to a place, he lives in Punjab. Like I used to live in India and I moved to America. Now I'm in a place when people don't know my language. They have a different musical sense, cultural sense. Guru Nanak walked from one place to the other. He goes to Baghdad and he sang. He stayed there for maybe 5, 10 days, 20 days max. And then he moves on. 550 years later, there's still people there respecting what he did in those 20 days. What kind of magic does a person do in 20 days and has monuments every place in the world? You go to South India, you go to Nepal, you go to Ladakh, you go to this East India, and you find people from the native land remembering Guru Nanak for the singing he did in 25, 10 days. What kind of magic was there in that kind of singing? I was like, this is great. All these great singers are great, but I want to learn. The good thing about nowadays, you can learn the best from the best.
That's so true.
I want to learn the best from the best. मैं कहा Guru Nanak is the best singer. ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ I want to learn. At that time, I had
Which year would that be?
Maybe in the 2005 to 2008
And
time.
while you were working in your day-to-day life?
I was working on Wall Street, and things were going up and down, and I was doing really well, and so everything was fine. But I'm still on the side, kind of doing the music and trying to perfect my sound. I learned some techniques from Jagjit Singh, for instance, how to bring the stability in the voice. I learned different things from different places, how to pronounce words, clarity of pronunciation from Lata Mangeshkar. That was her gur, right? So I learned different things from different people and try to imagine what Guru Nanak would sing like. Then I read a book, and I only read the title of the book. I found that book back, and I realized I've not read anything in the book. Just the title transformed me.
What was the book?
The book is called Talk Like Jesus.
Talk Like Jesus. Okay.
And I've still not read inside what it is, but I got super inspired. I was like, this is what a devotee does. He knows that there's no one who tells stories like Jesus Christ. He told the most beautiful, amazing. You read those stories, even now they're so amazing. So you want to talk like Jesus, you want to tell stories like Jesus. Man, I want to sing like Nanak. It absolutely changed me. I was like, wow. If someone wants, someone can want to talk like Jesus after 2000 years, why can I not want to sing like Nanak?
Which is 500 years.
Why not? So I kept, for year after year, I kept imagining when Guru Nanak sang like this Shabad, how did he sing? So a lot of people ask me this question. And I didn't even, after that, I stopped thinking about this. I was just practicing it, right? And at some time, what happened was I would sing something and I would record it. I was not happy with it. I would record it again, record it again, record it again. Then I got tired of it, and then I would keep it in the computer. Come back later, maybe 3 or 4 months later, once I recorded an arti like that, and then I listened to it, and tears started flowing.
Gagan Mithal?
Gagan Mithal. And I recorded it sometime back, and there were mistakes in it, but my tears were flowing. So I was like, this is so beautiful, it can't be me. So oh my goodness, this is Nanak. I'm not singing. Nanak is singing. I- It's so beautiful that despite me, me thinking I'm a cartoon singing this, I'm not. Guru Nanak sang this. And so in the intro to the Shabad, I said, I believe Guru Nanak used to sing it like this. And
You believed in it.
I believe I know Guru Nanak sings like this because since then he becomes very close to me. He comes and sits with me and tells me stories. This is, and we have dialogue now.
you genuinely
Yeah,
like.
yeah. I
Okay.
have dialogue with Kabir. I have dialogue with Guru Nanak. But you have to sit with the Shabad long enough to be close
You
to
know,
Guru Nanak.
this is where my first ever episode was with Preetinder Singh, and I was telling you behind the
Hmm.
camera. Um, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna call him because he shared with me this thought process on a podcast that do not listen to kirtan, become a kirtan, be the part of it. Like every part of a kirtan should be you, because he says that when you listen, it's feeding your ears, but when it's actually when it's a kirtan, it's going to your soul, and when it
Yeah.
connects to the soul, then you are actually in a similar thought of
Yeah,
mind.
so for instance, I don't like the word performing. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ perform ਕਰ ਰਹੇ
Correct.
ਹੋ. I don't even, Kirtan is not meant for others.
Others.
Kirtan is not a performance, it's a meditation. It's
It is
inward, it's not outwards.
outward.
So it doesn't really matter ਕਿ ਕੌਣ ਸੁਣ ਰਿਹਾ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੁਣ ਰਿਹਾ. ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੁਣ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ.
And that's
It
what it
doesn't really
matters.
matter कि ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ. Because and to me it's literally me myself recording and then listening for Guru Nanak. And now I wait for the tears. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਗਾਵਾਂਗਾ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਸੁਣਾਂਗਾ and I'll have tears in my eyes. It's not me. That means if someone else listens to it, it's guaranteed they will also have tears.
I don't know if you noticed today when you were. Did
Yeah,
you
I don't
notice
need I don't need to say it to you or anyone else.
when you were
I know it brings in the emotions because it's not me. It's a Guru Nanak is singing it, and that's sing like Nanak.
Yeah, when you
I'm kind of practicing sing like Nanak. It's a little scary for people, but that's what it is.
yeah, when you were singing this, I actually had a tears in my eyes, and it was emotionally also because that's a kirtan I listen every morning,
Yeah.
and I am listening through you. Not until later I knew that was the same individual I was listening, and he's right there. But I didn't knew at that time.
Right.
So then what? Then what happened? So now,
So
so
yeah,
how?
there was this. I called that episode "Going to Baghdad." I was like, I
Go,
have to sing like Nanak. You have to go to Baghdad, where no one knows your language. No one even understands your rag system. They have different music, but they're crying listening to what you're doing. That's singing like Nanak. It breaks all boundaries of language because this kind of singing, it just
is
puts.
it the rag, or is it like coming from your soul? What you're saying that attracts the human life?
It's the bhav. It's called the.
It's a
He
bhav.
calls
What
it
is
bhav.
bhav? What
Bhav
is
is feeling.
feelings?
So the three things that Guru Nanak tells us how to sing. He tells you how to sing. He says, "Gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye, bhav.
गाविए सुनिए मन
Man
रखिए
rakhiye, bhav."
भाव.
So you have to sing, but you cannot sing unless you have listened. You have to listen to the best singers and listen to your own conscious, what the conscious says about Guru Nanak or whoever you think is the best singer. Emulate them, but then forget that it's you. That's the bhav part. It's not you.
No ego.
No ego. And the more you try to improve yourself, improvements is like technicality. ਲੋਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਦੀ ਲਫ਼ਜ਼ ਗਲਤ ਕਰਤਾ ਜਾਂ ਇਹ ਗਲਤ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਈ ਚੇਂਜ ਦ ਨੋਟ ਰਾਗ ਰਾਮਕਲੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਰੇ ਕੋਮਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾਰਮਲੀ ਐਂਡ ਮੈਂ ਰੇ ਸ਼ੁੱਧ ਲਾਤਾ ਗਲਤੀ ਨਾਲ ਬਟ ਇਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਐਬਸੋਲੂਟਲੀ ਗੋਰਜਸ ਮੈਂ ਆਨੰਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ I was doing Anand Sahib is in Rag Ramkali. And I changed one note and as soon as I did it, my tears started flowing. I had it. I had this sort of new rag. Uh, I had music experts, people who have been in music gharanas, listen to this. They're like, wow, this is, we've never heard anything like this. It's absolutely gorgeous,
But do you
and
get
they're
a
also crying.
critics? Do you get a critics when you're doing something
Huh?
different, and then they
Huh?
will say, "Why are you
How?
doing?"
Huh? You get critics,
And
but absolutely,
it's okay.
but it's not you doing it.
Yeah,
You have
yes.
no control. So sometimes you know, and sometimes the critics are right. जिस तरह जो मांगे ठा कुर अपने ते. I put a little space between tha and kur. And now I realize why I do that. जो मांगे ठा कुर अपने ते should be जो मांगे thakur. Thakur should be together. But I don't. Because when I used to sing as a kid, 5-6 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ, 7 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਮੰਗੇ ਠਾ, ਉਹ ਬੱਚੇ ਬੜੇ ਦੋ ਮੰਗੇ ਠਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਤਾ, ਉਹ ਗਲਤ ਹੈ, ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਗਲਤ ਹੈ, ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਗਲਤ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਜੋ ਮੰਗੇ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੇ, ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੋ ਮੰਗੇ ਠਾ ਕੁਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੇ, ਐਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹ ਗਲਤੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ, ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਰਿਕਾਰਡਿੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਲਤੀ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਭਾਵ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ,
So it is
ਉਹ
okay.
ਅਥਰੂ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ. So you have to have, sometimes the critics are right and sometimes they're wrong, and it doesn't really matter, because you have to have the ability to forgive yourself as much as you forgive someone else. You have to forgive yourself as a child. Look, this is a kid, ये कार्टून है यार, ये कार्टून है, गा रहे हैं, कोई गल नहीं, पाओ तो ठीक है ना. There was a story about one of the gurus where instead of saying कि तू तारनहार है ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੂੰ ਤਾਰਨਹਾਰ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਗਰੀਬ ਹਾਂ, she said the opposite thing, and ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਰਨਹਾਰ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਤੂੰ ਗਰੀਬ ਜਣਾ ਹੈ, and the guru accepted her words even though the shishyas were scolding this lady. It's because she didn't mean it. The bhav was right. So you have, sometimes sometimes the mistakes are less, um, like the thoda jiha sur agge utte thalle ho gaya, there's slight mistake in it. But if you try to perfect it and you go to the best studio and you get the best musicians and you record it like a session and you pre-plan it and everything is, it doesn't sound like kirtan. There's no bhav in it. So whenever I record kirtan, it's generally one sitting live, and maybe I've practiced it 80 or 100 times or 1,000 times before, and then I record it. But that recording is one live recording, and then we'll play around with the mixing. That's it. Otherwise, you don't get a bhav. So the recordings are mistakes, but it is
Your
the
feelings.
it's got the truth.
Is that the feeling can be in any profession?
It can be in any profession.
So I can be in any profession and can make an errors and mistakes, but if my thoughts are right and if I am doing with the
Absolutely.
complete devotion, it will be overlooked.
Absolutely. The purpose of life is to sing, and singing is much broader than just singing with the voice. Singing is with the heart. You don't need a voice to sing, you need a heart. You can sing with a paintbrush, make beautiful paintings. You can sing with, questioning people with beautiful questions. You can sing by, doing a job really well, taking care of your elders. Why is that not singing? Guru Nanak ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਗਾਵੇ ਪਵਨ ਪਾਣੀ ਬੈਸੰਤਰ. The air is singing, the water is singing, the mountains are singing. He says, "What? Tell me, who is not singing?"
You know, as I'm getting older, I have come to the terms that, or at least I have started realizing that I find this, and people may sometime may not like this. I think that Guru Nanak Dev Ji, in my view, he was the greatest philosopher humanity could ever have.
Hmm.
The way he shared his stories and thought process to connect to the spiritual world, I don't think anybody was able to. It's my bad that I'm not able to understand. And slowly, slowly, I'm trying to understand a little bit here and there,
Hmm.
but it's still,
You know that I have good news for you.
yeah,
Guru Nanak at some point said, "You don't need to, Guru Granth Sahib is pretty voluminous.
yes,
It's 13, 1400 pages,
right.
but you only need one line or one phrase to get to that shore that I was talking about. To get to forget yourself and be in the company of Nanak, you just need one phrase.
One.
And so Guru Arjan Dev Ji was asked, okay, how do you get this sukh, this eternal sukh? He says, "Kinka ek jis ji basave, taki mein magani na ave." You need one kinka. So that's why you don't, when you're looking at shabads, you can randomly get a shabad for yourself. Call it a shabad. This is my Guru Nanak now. For the next 3 months, 4 months, I'm going to meditate on you. You don't need anything else in your life. You're done. Because all it takes is the depth in which you dive into one shabad and not the breadth of the shabads that you consider or the, akhand part from page 1 to the end.
And I listened to your one of the compose you have is the Shabad Guru Hai Guru Shabad, right?
Yeah.
That's you have that, right?
Yeah, Shabad Guru, Surat Dhunchila.
That is also another one that I listen every morning.
Yeah.
It's,
So that's the thing I learned in the past couple of years. I think someone had called me for um, this celebration of Guru Nanak's birthday in New Jersey, and they had asked me to cover one of the large banis of Guru Nanak, and that is pages and pages of Granth. And I said I'm just gonna pick 2 lines, and I picked 2 words, and I repeated them because what people need is to understand 2 words from Guru Nanak. And you might not need the same words as I do. Guru Nanak picks the words for you. So you can, this year you can pick 5 shabads, 2 months, spend 2 months each on them, and
yes.
there you are.
There is a book that I'm reading. It's I don't know if you have heard Ek Omkar,
No.
by Rajneesh.
Hmm.
The book is just on one
Osho.
word. Osho.
Okay.
One word, Ek Omkar.
Hmm.
I have been reading that book for 12 years.
Hmm.
It is amazing how he has explained Ek Omkar.
Hmm.
And I'm not moving forward with the page unless I completely comprehend and understand and try to implement. It's not easy, but that book is amazing.
Yeah, Osho is a master. I mean, I listen to Osho's commentaries, not just on Gurbani. And this is what Osho did that is amazing. Is he genuinely respects what he is reading. So when he reads Guru Nanak, he says, "Wow, this is amazing." When he reads Kabir, he says, "Wow, this is great." When he looks at Krishnamurti blames him, and then he says, "No, no, he's also right." So,
He
but this is
actually
how
admires
this
J.
is
Krishnamurti.
yeah. So he admires J. Krishnamurti. Look at how he's singing. Osho is actually singing. He's like, okay, I'm going to read this and listen to the Bani. I'm going to listen to Bhagavad Gita, Ashtavakat Gita, and I'm going to listen it with love, with feeling. Kavye, suniye, man rakhiye. He did it. Why is Osho so beautiful to us? Because he's following the Guru Nanak way of singing.
Yeah, that book is so amazing that it's, every time I open and it doesn't have to. I can open from any
Random
page,
page, yeah.
and I can still feel like I can connect to that story, or at least what he's trying to share. You know, I want to one thing and this is my personal thing, because the meditation in my life started with your particular, not your kirtan, but through you,
The sas.
sas. That has changed me so much every morning, right? If you don't mind, I want to personally, if you can um, sing that and dissect the words as you said today in Gurdwara, it will be a treat to me in many ways.
So sas simro gobind man antar ki utre chind. It starts with पूरे गुर का सुन उपदेश, पार ब्रह्म निकट कर टेक. When you look at the Guru, when you listen to the complete Guru, you see the Guru. And this is basically the philosophy of the Sikhs. You know how Muslims have to do their prayers, bending their knees, they bow down, they do their submission. And Hindus do darshan. They have to look at something. They have to look at a body, an idol or something, and they bow down. And what does a Sikh do? We have to listen. The Shabad needs to go inside. Shabad surat par hai, surat Shabad par hai. The Shabad has to go into your conscience. And then what you speak, you know what that becomes? If it really goes into your consciousness, it then becomes the word of the Guru. So when you start explaining Pure Guru ka sun upte, when you really truly listen to the Guru, then you see God everywhere. If you don't see God in all, you don't see God at all. You have to you have to be seeing God when you're listening to Gurbani. And it's absolutely transformational. What happens if you truly listen? That every breath that you're taking in is a remembrance.
Do you believe that there is a difference between universe and God?
No,
Do you think universe and God are the same thing?
they're the same thing.
Do you think that, so when
But Ek Onkar includes a universe, which is the Maya part of it, and it is beyond the universe too. So the universe, so God includes universe and what you cannot see.
So if I close my eyes and when I manifest or when I'm asking this universe that I would like to have this, is my manifesting or a prayer or my wish, is it closing and when saying to universe is eventually going to God? Or is it going to an universe and somehow the energy brings things together?
The asking is a little challenging because we don't know what to ask. And we generally ask for the wrong things. I'll close my eyes, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੱਡੀ ਕਾਰ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਮੇਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੇ ਸਕੂਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਾਖਲਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ, ਮੇਰਾ let me get this big deal, let me get a car, let me get a girlfriend or wife or whatever. We tend to dream of things that are so small. And Bhagat Dhanna explains this in a very funny way. He says, if you want to ask of God, chalo मैं भी मंगना, दाल सीधा मांगू घियो, मेरा खुशी करे नित जियो. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦਾਲ ਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਦੇ ਰੱਬ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਖਾਣ ਲਈ ਦਾਲ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਗਿਵ ਮੀ ਦਾਲ, ਬਟ ਦਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ, ਤੜਕੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਕੰਪਰੋਮਾਈਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਮੈਂ. ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਫਨੀ ਹੈ. ਤੁਸੀਂ imagine that the Guru is in front of you and you can ask anything from the Guru. Will you ask him, Guru, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦਾਲ ਦੇ ਦੇ? No. ਬਟ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਦਾਲ ਨਾ ਦੇ, ਤੂੰ ਦਾਲ ਚੰਗੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਦੇ. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਘੋੜਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਕਾਓ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕਾਓ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ, ਲਵੇਰੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦੁੱਧ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੋਵੇ. ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦੁੱਧ ਨਾ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਉਹ ਕਾਓ ਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ? ਕਾਓ ਦੇ ਦੇ, ਉਹ ਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦੁੱਧ ਦਿੰਦੀ. ਨਾਓ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਫਾਰਮਰ way back 500-600 years ago. In his imagination, the best luxury car of his time is a Turkish horse. He says ਮੈਨੂੰ horse ਵੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਟਰਕਿਸ਼ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਤਲਬ ਮਰਸੀਡੀਜ਼ ਦੇ, ਤੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ BMW ਦੇ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ. But it sounds like a very funny thing. If God is sitting here, would you say ਦਾਲ ਦੇ ਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ? He says, "चलो वड्डी चीज मांग लेने हैं, घोड़ा दे दे." Slowly he's increasing. In in the end, he says, "Gopal, tera arta." शब्द सुने? गोपाल तेरा आरता. We generally include this shabad in the arti, like it's a prayer. Gopal tera arti. Lekin arta in Punjabi, if you've been in Punjab or understand Punjabi, arta is someone who is a mangta. I'm asking of you. I'm closing my eyes, like you said. I want to ask something. I want to manifest it. You know, it's universe is the same as the God, is the same as Ekunkar. I'm going to close my eyes and ask. But what is the point of asking? We ask all kinds of small things that make no sense to ask. If if God was sitting in front of me, why would I ask for dal or good jutti? He also asked for jutti. ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਜੀ ਜੁੱਤੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਦੇ. Funny यार. ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਗਾਏ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਘੋੜਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. In the end he says, Gopal tera arta. I am your asker. And it's a confusing shabad. I am asking all these things. No. ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਤੂੰ ਹੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. I'm making no compromise. I'm human. I'm human and I want to be divine. That is the only manifestation that works. You close your eyes. Why would you ask for little small things when coffee chahiye hai? If God comes in front of us right now, why would you ask for little small things? He says, I want the biggest thing you can give. Give me yourself. Hey, hey Rab, mainu tu hi mil jawe. आँख बंद करके ये इमेजिन करना है, हे यूनिवर्स, मैं यूनिवर्स बन जावा, मैं ज्योति ज्योत समा जावा. Let me die before dying. And then when you're one with the one, then you have nothing less to ask because you own everything. You become Krishna. You says, oh, Ashtavakra Gita, which is one of our biggest saints, and Bhai Gurdas says this is one of our biggest saints, is Raja Janak. Raja Janak is supposed to be the one of the best saints, and Ashtavakra Gita is absolutely gorgeous. I believe it's better text than Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is absolutely top in spirituality, but Ashtavakra Gita is absolutely gorgeous because in this, in Bhagavad Gita, Arjun and Krishna are talking, and Arjun is a little, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Krishna knows what he's talking about. But Ashtavakra Gita is very, very good because Raja Janak, he's a top class Bhagat, and he's asking, Ashtavakra about something. So both the level of the student, the Sikh and the Guru are very high. So Ashtavakra Gita is probably one of the best spiritual texts we have in the Sanatana Dharma.
And you have read?
Hanji, hanji. So this in Ashtavakra Gita, in the middle of the thing, as Raja Janak is getting the updesh from his teacher, he starts saying, "Oh, it's actually I am the stars. I gave rise to all the stars in the universe. It's a transformation, right? He has become God. Gopal tera arta. Gopal tera arta. If you read the translations in the all our translation books, you'll see I'm asking you. I'm asking of you. But you won't see what are you asking? He's like, this Shabad is supposed to be very funny. And I'm very glad there are some funny Shabads in the Guru Granth Sahib. Well, I love fun stuff. How funny of a thing to ask ke yaar mainu dal de de tu. Ek hi hoya.
I this is very amazing. I'm enjoying this so much, and we have such a time limit. I can
Yeah.
go on this forever. I want to emphasize one thing, or at least I want to bring up. This was very unique, and I've never experienced this in my past. Um, Today, when you were at the, when you were talk singing kirtan on that platform, and there is a, it was a it was a very sensitive time in a way that there was a family who was going through a very sad moment. But you said that at the end of the kirtan, you said, may you all enjoy and may you all be happy and may you joyfully enjoy. Sare khush raho. I think that was very touching. I think what it means is what you were trying to say was that, and you also said about Tera Pana Mithala, Deda Guru Gobind Singh Ji's chare bache chale gaye. Everybody left. Everybody, like, and then Surs Deda unhone kirtan kita
मित्र
si.
प्यारे नु.
Mitenu pyare nu hal murida, hai na? Tell me something about that, because that I want to hear it again, because I think the way you said it, it really gave me a goosebump. Like, here there is a family who's going through so much, and yet you are saying that, look, what you went through is nothing. There is somebody at that caliber has lost everything, and yet he's saying it is because of all what is, it's not yours,
Yeah,
everything belongs to.
it's one of the greatest stories in mankind, right?
Yeah, it was,
It is
it gave me a
it's
goosebump.
one of the greatest stories in mankind, you know. And we were very close to this person I was doing kirtan for, and we had known them for a long time. And she had cancer. She was very sweet person. She was only 56, and we only found out maybe a few months ago, 9 months ago, that she had this cancer, and she didn't have a lot of time. And she was very positive, and she always wanted her family to be happy. So she was, you know, she acted like a sick. Tera bhana meetha laga hai. And you know, she did it. But now you after her passing and transition to that world, how does the family cope? And one of the best stories to tell them is Guru Gobind's story, right? He lost his father, he lost his mother, he lost his four little kids, he lost his palace, he lost everything, and then he's running. The Mughals are after him. He's lost all his Sikhs. He has nothing. He doesn't even have shoes on his feet. This is the king, our king. You know, he was in palaces in Anandpur Sahib. He had 52 poets there, and there was, you know, melas and jalsas, and you know, it was so grand. And he had white elephants and white horse and blue horses. You know how where he came from, and then here he is running in the jungle of Machiwala barefoot, bleeding. His feet are bleeding because you know he's on his feet, and he falls asleep. He wakes up, and then he sings, "Mittar pyare nu hal murida da ਕਹਿਣਾ, ਤੁਧ ਬਿਨ ਰੋਗ ਰਜਾਈਆਂ ਦਾ ਓਡਣ, ਨਾਗ ਨਿਵਾਸਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੈਣਾ, ਸੂਲ ਸੁਰਾਈ ਖੰਜਰ ਪਿਆਲਾ, ਬਿੰਗ ਕਸਾਈਆਂ ਦਾ ਸੈਣਾ, ਯਾਰ ਦੇ ਦਾਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ 70 ਚੰਗਾ, ਭੱਟ ਖੇੜਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਰਹਿਣਾ." He's saying, I we know what state he is in. He has lost his whole family. He's lost everything. He has nothing left. And at that point, he's saying, you know what I don't have is you. Oh, Vaheguru, I'm missing you. And the kind of hope and courage it takes you to lose everything and then say that this whole thing is a play. This whole thing is a play. And we are coming and going. The universal soul goes nowhere. The only thing that is missing in your life is God. And when you realize that's the only thing missing in your life, anything else that you're missing in life cannot be bigger than that. So that, you know, this is one of the most beautiful stories that we share with our kids, and it inspires us. I mean, this is our guru. He's our 10th guru. He's the guru who wrote so much. He's one of the best poets. He's the warrior. He's everything, and he loses everything, and then he writes his epistle of victory to Aurangzeb. कि देख तू 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 तो मारना चाहता सी सारे ਨੂੰ देख मैं तो ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ. And he writes and you know, it says that you know, he lost, but what a wonderful letter. I read that letter every year around the time of those
Zafarnama?
Zafarnama.
Yes.
I read that during the 7 or 8
that
days.
was yes, you're right. um I think the time is coming up, but I wanna ask you before we adjourn this podcast. So what you spoke about is your spiritual path and the singing and all that stuff, right? So what is that? What is that? What is in for you? What are you thriving for? Like, what is that? Is that the singing, the composing, or is there bigger than that? Is that something you want to share with the next generation? Do you have like an organization? Like, what is that takes you to the next thing that you're looking for?
Guru Nanak's singing um, is by the moment. I have this dum.
I have.
I have this dum. I have this one breath. The difference between life and death is one breath. I'm here right now. I might not be here in the next breath. We never know what is happening.
Mm.
And our purpose is to hear when we have this breath to sing in the breath, and everything else falls into place. And yeah, I have a non-profit, and we whatever income comes from the kirtan goes to artists who are promoting oneness, whether they are from Ukraine or Pakistan or India or Palestine, wherever. And we are funding artists in Iran, for instance, in Turkey.
So you
But
have a group of, so you promote artists from
yeah,
the Gurbani who
yeah,
wants
yeah,
to sing Gurbani.
yeah.
Okay.
For instance, the Bhai Mardana's family,
Huh.
their 19th generation is there, and um, we provide them food, money for food and groceries, and their kids can go to school so they can focus on singing. So we have we help about 10 to 11 families every year.
Who
And
are into the path of kirtan and
they
singing.
don't have to be in the path of kirtan.
Okay.
They have to be on the path of oneness.
Oneness.
The money is given as an encouragement to do oneness. For instance, Ukrainian artists are fighting for survival of their homeland. When I see them, I look at Baba Nanak speaking against Babar, his atrocities. So anyone who is supporting their right to existence is supporting Guru Nanak's cause. So the money goes to them. People in Palestine are losing their homeland. They're fighting, writing poetry. We are funding them. There's a person in Iran who went to Turkey because she does poetry of Rumi. We are funding her thing. There are people in India we're funding. But anyone who's doing one work on oneness, um, but it's that will happen whether I'm doing it, you're doing it, or someone else is doing it. The I wanted to create it because the music is generating streaming revenues, and I wanted those revenues to go directly to Guru Nanak's causes. To the 20, remember the 20 rupee story? He
Yes.
gives to the sons who they're already doing their good work. You just have to encourage them.
Now your kirtan is on Apple Music because I
Yeah,
listened through, but you're all
Apple, Spotify,
Spotify
everywhere.
everywhere. Any new thing that you have in a pipeline that you
Hanji, I have been I have about 2,000 shabas that are not released, but
2000 shabad which you have already sang
that are recorded and not
recorded?
released. Yeah, yeah. So,
Wow.
and I don't have I'm very productive in terms of I'm very creatively. I can sit and record something and it'll be done very fast, and but I don't have time to release or the I'm not working on making a profit or any. It doesn't really matter to me. I release things when I feel like the guru is sitting in a shabad, or when I have time. And now what I've started is just giving the shabads to people who can do the releases, because I might, who knows what happens to me. So I've started giving access to these to other people to these shabads, and they will release it whenever they can. So, but there's one that is almost done. Charan Chalo Marak Gobind, shabad from Sukhmani Saab.
Do you want to sing it in the
चरण चलो चरण चलो चलो मार्ग गोविंद मिटे पाप मिटे पाप मिटे पाप जपिए हर बिंद चरण चलो चरण चलो चलो मार्ग गोविंद. So last year I was in India and we recorded this and it's sounding very good. It's making me
amazing.
cry.
Really, yeah, it's
And so
when
I
is it
think
releasing?
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਹੋ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ. It's
Please,
ready.
if you do it,
Let's do it when we release this.
done. So the day we, this is up to the our
It
friend,
depends on the team. Who
the team,
can
the
we
gear.
bring the team into in at the end of the thing and say,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. We should bring, if you want to come inside,
please.
here, please come
There's
inside.
such a beautiful team here.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've been suffering through our talk. I didn't even realize they were sitting there.
Zina and Akam and take, if you want to
Yeah,
come over,
please come,
please, and everybody.
everyone.
But I wanna dedicate this podcast to a very good family friend, which I shared initially, Manu Grover. If you wanna say something, because she introduced me
Hmm.
to you virtually,
Hmm.
and you are sitting here, and it has transformed me with your kirtan. So if you wanna say something to Manu, that would be great.
ਮਨੋਜ ਜੀ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਰਹੋ. ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਰੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦਾ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ, ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕਹੋ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰਨ.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manu.